When it comes to automotive brands and who does them best, there are a few names worthy of being mentioned, and it really can't be an easy fit to find that one brand that had stood for years in excellence and excelled at managing the dream that was birthed in the noblest of places, on the grounds of Japanese weaving industry when Sakichi Toyota created the first automatic loom. Today, after 85 years of excellent existence, Toyota, a company that was built on the principle of acknowledging problems and quickly taking correct actions to stop them, Jidoka, still thrives. This principle has seen Toyota through these years not only survive but also thrive as the best Japanese automotive brand in the world. But how did Sakichi manage this surreal dream of his? What were the challenges that built and made Toyota the reliable brand that it is today? It is often said that success doesn't come without its fair share of unseen failures, disappointments, setbacks, and problems. So, let's find out the fair share of Toyota. On February 14, 1867, in the town of Kosei, Japan, a baby named Sakichi Toyota was born. As he grew up, he developed a strong interest in industrial mechanisms and invention. He attended every industrial exhibition and read European literature, influencing his desire to develop new technologies. In 1890, he invented a handmade wooden loom and inserted his surname, Toyota, into the name. Despite his father being a carpenter, Sakichi did not follow in his footsteps and instead ventured into the field of the invention in the weaving industry. In 1896, he invented an electric-powered loom, and in 1906, a circular loom. Finally, in 1924, he introduced the world's first completely automatic loom, the Toyota Type G. Recognizing the potential of his invention, he established his own company, Toyota Automatic Loom Works, in 1926 to produce and trade weaving equipment of his own design. His automatic loom's success reached the UK, where in 1929, Platt Brothers and Company purchased the patent for £100,000. However, in 1930, Sakichi passed away, and his son, Kichiro, took over the company. Kichiro Toyota, the founder of the Toyota company known today, is said to have been motivated to enter the automotive industry by his father's last wish. According to one version of the story, his father had dreamed of starting a car company and urged his son to make it happen after his death. Whether this story is true or not is unknown, but it is a fact that Kichiro used money from a patent on a machine to start a new division at Toyota dedicated to developing and building cars. In 1935, the company produced its first models, the G1 truck and the A1 passenger car. Western designs heavily influenced these early models, and the A1, in particular, was seen as a creative copy of cars made by Ford, Chrysler, and Chevrolet. The A1 was slightly modified in 1936 and went into serial production as the AA, which featured a 6-cylinder engine and a capacity of over 60 horsepower. The company later released the Model B, which had a convertible body. Despite the high quality of these early Toyota cars, they were not affordable, and only about 1,400 were produced. This high cost was a common problem for Japanese carmakers in the early days of the industry, and it was something that Toyota would work to overcome in the years to come. The Toyota logo has a rich history. Initially, it featured a diamond with the founder's family name inside, but it was later changed to the letter T for easier pronunciation. Some sources claim that the change was also made because the word Toyota requires 8 strokes in Japanese, which is considered a lucky number. In 1937, the automotive division of Toyota Automatic Loom Works became an independent company, Toyota Motor Company. The modern emblem of intersecting ovals was chosen as the result of a competition among 20,000 participants. There are many legends surrounding the meaning of the logo, including one that references the thread inserted into the eye of a needle, symbolizing the company's origins in textile production. The tradition of stopping production when a problem is discovered during assembly may also be the reason for Toyota's legendary reliability. In 1937, Toyota Motor Company received an order from the government for 3,000 trucks, which allowed them to invest in their own research and development. They built a separate automobile plant in the city of Corolla, which later became known as the Japanese Detroit and was renamed the City of Toyota altogether. Toyota began to implement a full-cycle production strategy, where they bought or opened enterprises for the production of components, aggregates, and everything needed to assemble cars. This ensured they were no longer threatened by supply failures and disruptions in production. By the beginning of World War II, Toyota had almost completely switched to the production of trucks only for the needs of the Japanese army. They also produced other equipment for the army, such as lightly armored vehicles and amphibious vehicles. However, they had big problems with raw materials for production, and cars for the army were as simple as possible. They even installed just one headlight to save money. At the war's end, Toyota's factories and infrastructure were largely destroyed, but Kichiro Toyota remained committed to his father's dream and did not give up. Toyota decided to launch the production of a new car model, and in 1947, the Model SA emerged amid the wreckage of the defeated nation's crumbling roads. This vehicle featured a new body style that was somewhat reminiscent of a Volkswagen Beetle, improved suspension, and smaller overall dimensions. For example, from 1947 to 1952, Toyota managed to produce only 300 cars and was on the verge of bankruptcy. They had to lay off workers, which resulted in riots and general strikes. The nation had an economic crisis, and the population did not have enough money even for a moped, let alone a car from the automobile maker. Misunderstandings and discontentment between the workers' unions and the company's management frequently broke out as a result of their perception that the case smelled of layoffs. The workers' unions almost started to rebel. The Council of Top Managers handled the management and decision-making as a result of Kichiro Toyota's extreme worry and anxiety, which ultimately caused him to become critically ill. After making such a statement, real and widespread strikes had already started for 2 months in a row, riots persisted among workers supported by the union, and production volumes had decreased by 70%. However, the company still made the unpopular decision to let more than 1,500 workers retire on their own volition in the spring of 1950. For the business, the situation was fatal, and it was at that point that Kichiro Toyota announced his retirement in June 1950, acting like a truly honorable samurai. His admission of guilt and acceptance of responsibility cooled the workers' tempers because they greatly respected their boss. It also increased his authority. Most importantly, though, it worked because the strikes ended, and the business began to turn around. If there's one thing that we can be sure of, it is the fact that while all leadership structures of Toyota Motor Corporation were met with huge setbacks, the legacy set by the pioneer of the dream remained. They continued to manage the communal dream of the company in all of the disappointment phases. After the natural disaster that sent many automobile companies to bankruptcy, Toyota was quick to get back in shape. The road to greatness ever since has been met with great strides. In recent standings, as of 2021, it was the leading motor vehicle manufacturer worldwide based on global sales, overtaking the Volkswagen Group, which dominated the charts in 2020. The Toyota brand is the company's best-selling subsegment, with around 8.9 million units of vehicles sold in 2021. A series of recalls and natural disasters in Japan and other production center locations, such as Thailand, hampered Toyota's financial recovery from the 2008 global recession. Toyota's revenue increased in 2013, and the company recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic during the fiscal year 2022. Net income increased by more than 15% year-on-year in the fiscal year 2022, reaching 31.38 trillion Japanese yen. Around $218.5 billion at a 1 Japanese yen equals $0.007 exchange rate as of September 20, 2022. While it might be disappointing that the founder of the household automobile brand wasn't present to see his dream take the shape he wanted, the legacy of Kichiro Toyota remains to this present day.